afternoon and welcome into a special edition of Marquette University Television. As I, Jack Phillips, alongside Amy Galashevsky, broadcast Marquette Women's Lacrosse here at Valley Fields in the Dome. Amy, thanks for being here on hand with me.
Thanks for having me, Jack. I'm super excited for today.
Of course. Well, it's the Marquette Golden Eagles after their pretty embarrassing loss against Notre Dame, taking on the Louisville Cardinals, who actually just came off another loss as well against Northwestern in Evanston, Illinois on Friday night. So both teams coming in here with 0-1 records. Both have something to prove, Amy.
Oh, for sure. I think the defense was the biggest problem against Notre Dame the other day. They didn't have that leadership in the back from Lane Dolan, Jocelyn Miller, and Nia Pope, especially today when you have a powerhouse like Tessa Chad from Louisville. We're going to really need to crack down in the back.
Marquette definitely will have their feet cut off for them as we're about to announce the starting lineups in no particular order. For the Louisville Cardinals, number 1, Cassie New, number 3, Shay Clevenger, number 5, Tessa Chad, number 6, Carolyn Blalock, number 15, Maddie Birch, number 19, Rachel Florick, number 21, Allie Hall, number 24, Sarah Blalock, number 26, Abby Raskovich, number 27, Lexi Ball, number 28, Kristen Parker, number 34, Hannah Morris, and number 66, Shayla Scanlon. And in his second season as the head coach, Scott Teeter. Now for the Marquette Golden Eagles, number 3, Gase Gabriel, number 5, Lindsay Wilcox, number 5, Lane Dolan, number 9, Megan Menziver, number 10, Kate Sakadato, number 16, Madison Kane, number 21, Shea Garcia, number 22, Anna Gallagher, number 26, Jocelyn Miller, number 30, Charlotte McGuire, number 31, Juliana Horning, and finally number 33, Erin Dowdle. In her 7th season as the head coach of Marquette Women's Lacrosse, Meredith Black. And we're about to be underway. Amy Galashevsky, do you have any little minor keys before we get started for the Marquette Golden Eagles heading into this game?
Well, I think with Grace Gabriel up at the top, and if we are more aggressive inside the arc, I think that it'll be a very interesting game today.
The opening draw control, it'll be Grace Gabriel versus Sarah Blalock. And Marquette looks to win it. Picked up by Marquette. Having a tough time handling it. As it's still square on the ground, and Louisville ends up with it. And Louisville looks to make a run here on offense. Louisville moving the ball around. Good pressure from the Golden Eagles on defense. Sarah Blalock has it. Looking for an open man. Tessa Chad looking to make something happen for the Cardinals. Swings it below. And it looks like a foul in favor of the Golden Eagles early. And now Marquette has a chance to make an offensive run. There's Jocelyn Miller. Back to Horning. Lane Dolan now has it. Finds a cutting Menziver. Almost stolen by the Cardinals. Lane Dolan has to frantically throw it back to Horning, who sent it to midfield here in the hands of Grace Gabriel. Some good pressure from the Cardinals and the Golden Eagles so far. Two evenly matched teams it seems to be. Good cut from Shea Garcia. Tries to send it back to McGuire behind the cage. Marquette fires one off, just goes wide. That was Charlotte McGuire. Trying to get something going for the Golden Eagles. Now back in the stick of Shea Garcia. A little too aggressive on the Cardinals defense. Waiting for the call. Well, so far, I mean, it seems like these teams have been pretty evenly matched. It really hasn't, no team has really been able to gain an upper hand on each other. Marquette still leaving the ball around. Grace Gabriel. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Grace Gabriel trying to make something happen here for Marquette as she strikes first for the Golden Eagles. And Marquette's on the board, 1-0.
Gabriel has been nothing but impressive the past few games. She was ranked the biggest preseason offensive player of the year, and clearly that's been shown here.
Well, Grace Gabriel high to low shot. bounced it in, able to fool Lexi Ball and notch the first point for the Golden Eagles. A good start for Marquette. Remember on Friday, Marquette was actually down 8-0 before they scored their first goal against Notre Dame. So they're already doing a lot better than they were on Friday. This is exactly what Marquette wanted. They really wanted to get out here first, especially strike before the Cardinals did. And they've executed that plan so far, looking to now expand their still small but impressive 1-0 lead. It'll be Grace Gabriel and Sarah Blalock again for draw control. And Gabriel ends up with it. What a reach. And now Marquette has the offense. And it's batted away. Still picked up by Gabriel.
Keep it high!
And you have Menziber. Tries to get into McGuire. And Louisville with some good defense, able to stop that offensive run from the Golden Eagles. And now it's the Cardinals crossing midfield. Good defense from Marquette again. Both teams really pressuring each other. It looks like it'll go back. Kate Sacadato. Cross it over to Jocelyn Miller, and it's Jocelyn Miller appears to be a little banged up from that hit from Hannah Morris. And ref, stop and play. They're going to reset the clock.
Shot clock. 78 on the shot clock to 78.
They're going to reset the shot clock to 78 on the referee's call. Well, now here Louisville has an opportunity. They haven't really had an offensive try yet. No shots on goal as of yet. If you're just joining us, we're just over 3 minutes into the first half of Marquette versus Louisville. Jack Phillips alongside Amy Galashewski. We'll have Megan Rock on the sideline at some point. Happy to have her on the call. And Louisville strikes right back. Looks like that's number 5, Tessa Chad, the senior from Ontario, striking for the Cardinals.
Jack, like I was saying before, Tessa Chad is the one to watch today. She had a hat trick the other day in the first game, and 42 goals and 49 points last year. Last year she scored 5 goals against Marquette, so you got to keep an eye on her.
Well, Tessa Chad definitely looking to repeat history in that case, possibly get even more. Well, some fun facts about Tessa Chad. She had 42 goals, like you said, last year, 7 assists as well. She actually had an 80% shot on goal percentage. So if you're talking about accurate shots, Tessa Chad's one of those girls. We said earlier, Marquette's pretty evenly matched with Louisville. Has not changed. It's now 1-1. 26-35 in the first half. Grace Gabriel serves Sarah Blalock for the 3rd time today. Grace Gabriel has won all draw controls. And Marquette will win another. That's 3 for Gabriel. Madison Kane. Gives it over to Lane Dolan. Back to Sacadato. Finds a cutting Menziber. Gets a shot off. And Marquette right back with another goal. 2-1 in favor of the Golden Eagles. Menziber cutting across the 12-meter fan. Getting that easy goal. Good play, good find by the Golden Eagles. So now Marquette has a 2-1 lead. Amy, it seems like this game could go either way at this point because both teams don't really seem to have that upper hand on it.
I think at this point it just depends on who's going to be more aggressive.
Grace Gabriel's 3-0 in draw controls today. Will she make it 4? And this time Louisville's Sarah Blalock. My apologies, actually Alex McNicholas. And now Louisville. The goal earlier from Tessa Chad. They're looking to tie it back up here at the Dome in Valley Fields. Again, both teams 0-1. Looking to get their first win of the 2019 season today. Some good defense from the Golden Eagles. Tessa Chad looking for someone. Finds McNicholas, but a good save by Juliana Horner. As the Golden Eagles now swing it back to the offensive side. Crossing midfield, here comes Marquette. Anna Gallagher looking for something, can't find it. Here comes Charlotte McGuire, a key piece in the Marquette team this year. Now Marquette has plenty of opportunities, but it'll come back. A foul in favor of the Golden Eagles now.
Looks like a reset of the shot clock.
Second time today, the refs had to redo the shot clock. But anyway, Marquette will be back on offense again. Some good ball movement from the Golden Eagles. Menziber, she has one goal today. Finds Grace Gabriel, the other goal scorer, as she cuts through, can't find a hole. Marquette doing a good job of trying to find the open man. And it's batted down by Louisville, and now Louisville's back on offense. Now in the hands of Abby Raskovich. Batted down by Menziber. Still fighting for it. Menziber gets it. And a good play by Louisville's Allie Hall, another key piece of the Cardinal defense. Louisville will remain in possession of the ball. Abby Raskovich crossing midfield now. Hands it over to Brenna Shanahan. Good defense by the Golden Eagles. Jocelyn Miller defending. Well as Anna Gallagher. Louisville running around the cage. Trying to get it past Jules Horning. Here comes McNicholas. And we could have a free position shot here in Valley Fields, in the Dome. And it looks like that is just what it'll be. Jules Horning will have her work cut out for her, as the first free position of the evening goes to McNicholas. A good defense from the Golden Eagles. And now Marquette looking to run. Ball lost by Gabriel, picked up by the Cardinals. And Menziber steals it right back. 2-on-2 fast break for the Golden Eagles. There comes Marquette, hooks it in the back of the net. What a shot from the Golden Eagles, and they now take a 3-1 lead in this matchup. Both teams really trying to get their hands on each other, but Marquette's doing a little bit better so far. That goal went to Kate Sakadata, her first goal of the game.
It's good to see her step up. She's clearly super athletic in high school. She also played basketball, tennis, and track, and competed for Team Italy in the 2017 FIL Women's Lacrosse World Cup.
Kate Sakadata, the epitome of an athlete. She's played multiple sports in high school, playing now Division I lacrosse for the Golden Eagles. In her now 4th year with the team, it's the senior attack from Huntington, New York. Well, Grace Gabriel only has lost one draw control today. She's 3-1 on the evening. It's going to be McNicholas again. And now McNicholas has won both hers as Louisville picks it up, but a foul will give it back to Marquette as Lindsay Wilcox throws it over to Gabriel. Madison Kane, sophomore from Chicago, gives it over to Wilcox, and a free position shot could be coming for the Golden Eagles, their first of the evening. Here comes Lindsay Wilcox. And she'll put it in the back of the net. Rattling between the cage. Lexi Ball couldn't handle that one. 4-1 in favor of Marquette. We're going to talk about a tale of two sides. Comparing Friday's matchup and today's matchup so far, it's like looking at black and white, completely different. Unbelievable so far for the Golden Eagles. They only scored 4 against Notre Dame on Friday. They've already tied that today with not even more than 20 minutes left in this matchup in the first half. Pretty impressive stuff so far for the Golden Eagles.
It's nice to see contributions from everyone on offense instead of just focused on one person, Jack.
That it is, Amy. Looks like some substitutions for the Golden Eagles. Number 37, Lydia Faust comes in for the Golden Eagles. The midfielder, freshman from Redwood City, California. You know, one thing we talk about at Marquette here is that they're not really a homegrown team. You get a lot of recruits from the East Coast and West Coast is starting to become more abundant on this roster for someone like Faust, as she actually has the ball. Back to Wilcox. Well, Charlotte McGuire doing a great job of moving the ball around. Her and Gabriel are going to be a dynamic duo of the 2019 season. Marquette being patient, running around the 12-meter fan, trying to figure something out, and a good save by Lexi Ball. Lexi Ball, the junior goaltender from Boston Lake, New York. Started all games, all 17 games in 2018. She actually clocked in almost 1,000 minutes of goal time. A good fake by Ball, and she looks to run with it. You rarely see a goaltender leave the 8-meter arc so quickly.
That can be pretty risky, Jack.
It can be pretty risky, right? And it looks like Tessa Chad has it. Looking to run with it, but ref will stop it. Jules Warning waiting patiently between the pipes. Still trying to. It'll be Louisville back on offense. Jocelyn Miller pressure. And Caroline Blauck, one of the best players on this Louisville team, being double teamed by the Golden Eagles. Louisville gets it back. Batted down again, but too many whistles going on. Louisville will end up with it again. Allie Hall. Kristen Parker's shot attempt goes wide, and Marquette has it again. Some pushes from Louisville, but Marquette fans did not appreciate that. Marquette gets it within the 8-meter arc, and it looks like another goal. This time for Madison Kane, the sophomore from Chicago. Marquette leads 5-1.
Madison Kane has proven to be a very valuable piece in the Marquette puzzle this year, Jack.
Well, not only on the field, but off the field as well. She's actually a 2018 Big East All-Academic. She played in 16 games last year in 2018, only missed 2 of them. She's actually a 2-time U.S. Lacrosse All-American at Loyola Academy. Actually near around my hometown in Glenview, Illinois. And Amy, I know we haven't really talked about this yet, but on Friday's call, there's obviously Dan Abington and Megan Rock, the two East Coasters, but it's pretty rare to see two Midwesterners calling a game of lacrosse, and it's really starting to get more popular here in the Midwest. So it's interesting to see that, it really has been spreading as a sport, especially from the East Coast down to the West Coast, and especially getting here in the Midwest.
I think it's going from Illinois back to Milwaukee, Jack.
Exactly. We got the Midwest crew on the call for MUTV today and GoMarquette.com/watch. If you're just tuning in, it's 5-1 in favor of Marquette. Just under 20 minutes left in the first half. Grace Gabriel ready for the draw control for Marquette. Against Sarah Blalock, but it'll be won by Gabriel. The Golden Eagles have it back on offense. Some pushes from Louisville. Refs taking knowledge of that as Menziberg finds number 21 Shea Garcia in the 8-meter arc. And she buries it home, making the lead by 5, 6-1 in favor of Marquette.
Jack, and she is only a freshman. The other day against Notre Dame, she had a goal also in the low-scoring game. So she's definitely someone to watch out for this year.
Shea Garcia definitely being one of the most important freshmen on the Golden Eagle roster. Last year it was someone like Jocelyn Miller who saw time in every single game. Now with the number 2 to 26. Actually, Marquette's going to be calling a timeout for the first time. Not Marquette, Louisville is going to be calling a timeout for the first time this evening. And with that, we're going to send it to our sideline reporter, Megan Rock.
Jack and Amy, it's evident that Marquette has looked at the film from the Notre Dame game. We saw that their offense was being shut down. They couldn't even get inside of the 12-meter fan. Regardless, even the 8-meter arc. Today we're seeing with them up early that they're able to get through the Louisville defense, and honestly, they definitely studied that film.
Thanks, Megan, for some great analysis.
Definitely a change of pace from Notre Dame game, Jack.
Oh, definitely. It's crazy for me to think that Marquette only had 4 that whole game, and now with still over 15 minutes to play in this first half of play, Marquette has already 6 goals, and they're really taking advantage of the lackluster Louisville defense. Coming into this game, it seemed like Louisville and Marquette were pretty evenly matched. They looked, especially defensively, they really weren't giving each other an edge. And then all of a sudden it became a Gabriel and a Menziberg goal back-to-back, giving them a 2-1 lead over Louisville. And now it seems like Marquette's really in the driver's seat here.
For sure, Jack.
Check out the location at 16th and Wells. Open Thursday through Saturday for all your SOB needs.
Well, now during this timeout, we'll bring you some fun stats from the 2018 season. We know Dan Abington and Megan Rock probably told you all about it, but we'll give it to you too here in the Midwest crew. So from some team statistics from the Louisville team last year, they actually went 6-11. Now get this, they went 6-3 in non-conference schedule. They went 0-8 in the ACC. So statistically, in a non-conference schedule, you'd think Louisville would be better. They went 6-3 last year, but right now it seems like Marquette's dominating this performance so far. And they were actually, Louisville was outscored by their opponents 240-207 on the year. They were out-assisted by their opponents 107-66. So offensively, Louisville definitely had too many, they weren't matched very well against their opponents, so to speak.
Today, Marquette came in with lots of confidence. They got out their first game jitters on Friday, and it's been clearly shown here today.
One thing about the 2018 season that's been tough for Louisville, they lost 3 of their top 6 goal scorers in the offseason. So Louisville has to find those new 3 girls who are really going to step up and be those big goal scorers. Obviously, you still have Carolyn Block, Tessa Chad, Allie Hall. But who's going to be the new 3 to come in and fill that top 6 as Madison Kane comes off the Golden Eagles? Regardless, we're about to set play again. Grace Gabriel again with the draw control. Last year we were used to seeing Allison Lane for the Golden Eagles, but now Grace Gabriel stepping up as the senior. Unanimous first team All Big East. And Marquette wins it again with Charlotte McGuire. Putting pressure on that Louisville defense. Looking for a hole, can't find it. Menziberg around the 12-meter fan. Good ball movement. Grace Gabriel getting pushed. Trying to find something. Menziberg again. Finds Gabriel cutting. A good move. And it looks like a free position for the Golden Eagles. This time it'll be the star of the show for the Marquette Golden Eagles, Grace Gabriel, with the opportunity.
Let's go, Grace!
Can she make it 7-1? But a good stop by Lexi Ball. Louisville back on offense. Looking to run. Maddie Birch. It's a back to ball. Now on the stick of Shea Clevenger. Finds an open offender. Louisville still trying to find some offensive plays going right now. Clevenger comes out for the Cardinals. Marquette being patient. They were putting a lot of pressure on Chad earlier in this game and Caroline Blalock, but they've seemed to lay off, let them come to them. Good spin move by the Cardinals. Hannah Morris can't seem to get in there. Sarah Blalock tried to get something there, but she couldn't. However, she might have been bailed out. It looks like a free position for the Cardinals as they look to notch their second goal of the evening. Waiting for the ref's whistle. Louisville looking to make it 6-2. Blalock fires one, but she will not get it. Good defense by Jules Horning. And now it's Marquette back on the offensive end. Here comes Shea Garcia. Gets a foul, but it'll keep going. Finds Menziber. Behind net, Charlotte McGuire.
Let's go, Blue!
Lydia Faust. Still in the goal is Grace Gabriel. Putting the moves on. And shot goes wide. We'll go back to Louisville. My apologies, goes back to Marquette. And stoppage of play. Meredith Black arguing that it was a shot from Grace Gabriel.
Why? Why, Carolyn? Why? That was a shot!
Coach Black and the referees having a little discussion right now. Marquette did not like the call. It'll go back to Louisville instead. Now Louisville hasn't scored since the first 2 minutes of this game. We're now just under 17 to go in the first half. They've been a little bit of a drought. They really want to get something going here as Caroline Blalock tries to put the moves on Jocelyn Miller. Continuation for Louisville. Louisville moving the ball around, trying to be patient, trying to find a little error in the defensive end for Marquette. They have only found it once. Hannah Morris, good pressure from Anna Gallagher. Back to Caroline Blalock, and good defense from Jocelyn Miller. And now sophomore, the only freshman to start all games in the 2018 season. Menziber has it. Back to Shea Garcia. Now Grace Gabriel has it in the middle. Still running on the 12-meter fan. Attacking. It's Wilcox. Can't find an open person. And Louisville has it again. Louisville finding an open area. Here comes Sarah Blalock. Dumps it off to Hannah Morris. Louisville still looking for it. Some good offense now for Louisville. being patient, passing it around that fan. Behind net, Kayla Marshall. Stoppage of play. It looks like it'll be a foul on Marquette. Could be a free position. It looks like it will. It looks like Hannah Morris has an opportunity. And good defense from Marquette. All being battered around, someone trying to gain possession. Louisville has it now. Another stoppage of play. We'll stay with Louisville. Caroline Blalock, 2018 All-ACC second team. Now in her sophomore year. Being guarded by Jocelyn Miller. Sent it over to Brenna Shanahan. Hannah Morris. Shot goes a little high. Louisville still has it though. Marquette has not allowed a goal in 13 minutes. Caroline Blalock finds a cutter, and it's Brenna Shanahan who ends the drought for the Cardinals, and it's now 6-2 in favor of Marquette.
Brenna Shanahan is coming off an injury from last year, redshirt junior. Not playing like she came off an injury, though.
Definitely a good shot from Blalock. Or, my apologies, Shanahan. From Mississauga, Ontario. A couple Canadians on this Louisville roster. Went to Hill Academy. She only played in 4 games, yeah, and like you said, in 2018 due to her injury. She's actually a transfer from Canisius College. Now, here's the fun fact about that. We were doing some research. Amy and I figured this out, but Scott Teeter actually used to coach at Canisius College. And coincidentally, some of those players transferred from Canisius to Louisville, so definitely a well-liked coach in Scott Teeter.
At Canisius, he was actually the winningest coach in the MAAC history, and then he came to Louisville. Definitely
a good qualification to have in the ACC conference if you're head coach Scott Teeter. And now Louisville trying to fight with Marquette. It looks like Marquette may gain possession here. And a big push from Louisville. Meredith Black did not like that. But Marquette will get it back. Recently checked in for Marquette is Aaron Dowdle, the defenseman, the junior from Northbrook, Illinois. Now Jocelyn Miller gets it over to Faust. Looks to make something happen here for the Golden Eagles. They haven't scored in a few minutes now. Madison Kane puts the moves on the defenders. And it looks like we will see a free position for Madison Kane and the Golden Eagles. Madison Kane scores. What a beautiful shot from Madison Kane, able to find the little area of open space, threads the needle, and gives Marquette a 7-2 lead here at the Dome and Valley Fields.
That's her second goal on the day, Jack.
Her second goal on the day again. Didn't see too much action last year as a freshman, but now, especially with Allison Lane graduating and Alex Gambacorta, Madison Kane definitely has a lot more opportunities, and a lot of players in the Golden Eagle roster have a lot more opportunity to showcase their skills on this roster. Impress Coach Meredith Black. Now, earlier I rattled off some Louisville statistics from 2018, but let's go through some Marquette 2018 team statistics. They actually outscored their opponents 244 to 231, so that probably makes sense why they had their best record in program history in their first postseason appearance in the Big East tournament. They out-assisted their opponents 120 to 91, so the complete opposite as Louisville. Grace Gabriel Back in the center for draw control. Next will be Sarah Blalock. McNicholas, my apologies. She will win the draw control for Louisville. And now Louisville knocking on the door. Yeah, Shanahan trying to notch her second goal on the afternoon. Putting moves on the Marquette defense, but Madison Kane stays strong, gains it back for Marquette, and now in the sticks of Jules Horning, tries to send it to Miller, almost picked off. And now Faust. Good move to get out of that defense from Carolyn Blalock, but Louisville right there to pressure Kane. Now Louisville right back on offense. Here comes Tessa Chad. She already has one goal on the afternoon. We're in Shanahan. And it'll be Shayla Scanlon's shot, a little too high. Louisville still has it. Moving it around. Allie Hall sends over to Blalock. And McNicholas can't handle the pass, but she'll scoop it right back up. Marquette, again, playing some pretty patient defense, letting Louisville come to them. Interesting strategy for the Golden Eagles. Finds an opening, and Hannah Morris can't punch it home. My apologies, Kayla Marshall. And Marquette couldn't handle that one. It looks like Louisville gets their third goal of the afternoon. It's now 7-3. Marquette hanging out of that still pretty comfortable four-goal lead. But Louisville's still trying to stay in this game, and they haven't really gotten out of the game yet at all either. Looks like that was Shanahan, or my apologies, that was Allie Hall for her first goal of the afternoon. Louisville now has 3 individual scores so far. Marquette has 7 goals, 2 which have been scored by Madison Kane, 1 scored by Gabriel, Wilcox, Menziber, Sacadato, and Garcia.
Allie Hall last year scored 19 goals, played in 17 games with 5 starts.
It won't be Grace Gabriel for the draw control. A new Golden Eagle, still McNicholas for Louisville. Coach Meredith Black going for Emily Cooper in draw control. It'll stay with Louisville though.
Last season she had 8 draw controls, Jack.
She didn't have too many opportunities last year. Maybe this year will be a little bit different for Cooper. After losing a 6-1 Allison Lane, it was always her and Gabriel really working well in that draw control last year. It's going to be interesting who Meredith Black decides to try and pair up with Gabriel in the 2019 season. She's going to be trying a lot of different players, and Emily Cooper definitely one of them. Well, here comes Louisville. Good defensive play by Wilcox, finding any way to disrupt the shots. Marquette will get it back. Jules Horning now has it. She'll send it. Looks like to Anna Gallagher. Sacadato almost had to go into the stands for that one.
Almost hit my mom over there.
Oh, Mrs. Galashewski, the Marquette Golden Eagles apologize. Regardless, now Louisville has another chance on offense. Alex McNicholas being guarded well by Erin Dowdle. Again, back to that patient offensive possessions. Louisville trying to find any defensive lapse, and a great shot by McNicholas. High to low, bounces it in, gets it through through Jules Horning's legs. And now, the lead is only by 3, 7-4 here in the Valley and in the Dome with just under 10 to play. 7-4 in favor of Marquette still. Marquette has now had 2 unanswered goals from Louisville.
I think Louisville kind of got that wake-up call, and now they're on a roll. So Marquette needs to try to put a stop to that.
Well, Meredith Black has seen enough. She'll call timeout. Remember, her and her team still have a comfortable lead, 7-4. But definitely an interesting game so far. So, Amy, we've seen some action. Now, I know you were on hand at the other game against Notre Dame. How different has this Marquette team been between what you saw Friday afternoon to now Sunday afternoon?
The whole dynamic of the game is completely different, Jack. I think Marquette has a lot of confidence, and they're starting to create better passes on offense also.
And now we're going to send it over to our sideline reporter, Megan Rock, who's on hand to talk a little bit more about this Louisville team. Megan.
Jack and Amy, you touched a little bit on the draw control circle, and this season, with the absence of Allison Lane due to graduation, the 6-foot midfielder has been dearly missed, as we see, but Marquette really struggled in the draw control circle against Notre Dame. But today they've come out really strong. Another thing that's been a key thing for Marquette is clears. In the Notre Dame game, they really struggled. They were 13 for 18 on clears. This afternoon, they're above average. I believe it's 6 for 7 last time I checked the stats. So if they keep up with the clears and they stop the turnovers and they keep it up in the draw control circle, they'll be doing fine.
Thanks, Megan, for the great analysis. It's always interesting to see. I know at some point, Amy and I were talking about this earlier, it'll be really interesting to see who Coach Black ends up picking as her main draw controller, because obviously, like Megan said, with losing Allison Lane, you lose that really big height advantage. There's no one on the Marquette roster who's 6 feet or over. So losing Lane was definitely a big blow to the Marquette offense and defense in general. But with Emily Cooper, Grace Gabriel, it's going to be really interesting to see who Black decides to pair with each other in the draw control circle.
Still early in the season, Jack, so there's still lots of opportunities to try some things out.
Well, if you're just joining us, 9:59 to go in the first half, 7-4. Amy Galashewski and I, Jack Phillips, on the calls. Megan Rock on the sidelines, giving some great analysis. So far, it's been a pretty fun game, wouldn't you say?
I'd say very fun, Jack.
Well, after the timeout now, Marquette again, they just gave up 2 unanswered goals, looking to kind of erase that offensive momentum that Louisville has going and trying to swing it back into their side here at their home field in the Dome at Valley Fields. And they're going to put Grace Gabriel back in the draw control circle, this time against Alex McNicholas. These two have been going at it the entire afternoon so far. A really good matchup in the draw control circle. Originally it was Sarah Blalock, but Coach Teeter decided to go with McNicholas. And everyone's still fighting for the ball. No possession yet. Blalock falls, but her sister, Caroline Blalock, has it, finding some offensive momentum. Hannah Morris tries to find Shanahan. Finds Kayla Marshall. And Louisville will get it right back. Marshall has it in her stick. Shayla Scanlon has a really big height advantage on the Marquette defenders. It'll be interesting to see if they try to utilize her a little bit more. Allie Hall has 1 goal on the afternoon so far. Caroline Blalock, defended by Jocelyn Miller. Jocelyn Miller doing a great job of keeping her around the perimeter of that 12-meter fan. And what a shot by Tessa Chad, her 2nd goal in the afternoon. And now Louisville knocking on the door, down 7-5 Marquette. Now 3 unanswered goals for Louisville. As I said, Tessa Chad notching her 2nd goal of today's matchup. Louisville seems to have flipped the switch, so to speak, and they really seem like a different team right now. They're only down 2. They trailed by as much as 5. My apologies, they actually trailed by as much as 6. And now Coach Meredith Black, you have to wonder how she's going to try and rally her troops and try to get that offensive momentum that Marquette had going, especially between the first 20 and 30 minutes of this match. But now with 8:52 to go, Louisville trying to tie it up before halftime. They still have plenty of time here in the first half. you're just joining us again, thank you for joining us here on Marquette University Television, as well as GoMarquette.com/watch. Jack Phillips alongside Amy Galashevsky. As Louisville wins yet another draw control, it seemed like Marquette was going to have a lot more with Grace Gabriel starting off strong, but Alex McNicholas has been doing a great job for the Cardinals. It's like Ali Archidiakono. I couldn't. Her last name intrigued me because she has the same last name as a point guard for the Chicago Bulls. I thought maybe they'd be related, but I couldn't find any interesting stats on that. So we'll keep you updated on that cool fact. But
You always have to throw in a Chicago reference, Jack.
well, you have to, you know. I might not be from the city, but the suburbs are close enough. Anyway, Louisville has the ball, trying to get it in between the 8-meter arc. They'll drag it back to the 12-meter fan. Yeah, Tessa Chad looking to challenge Miller and the Golden Eagle defense again, as now Caroline Blalock double teamed by the Golden Eagles. Trying to find Scanlon on the cut. But Wilcox has done a great job defending Scanlon, not letting her get too close, and Marquette regains possession. Good defensive end by Marquette. As now Jules Horning has it in her sticks, going to send it to Jocelyn. Here comes Miller. And a little too high for Shea Garcia. But Menziver picks it up. She has a pretty wide open field there. But quickly closed in upon by the Louisville Cardinals. Madison Kane barrels over a Cardinal defender. That was Mandy Birch. And a little too aggressive there. It'll go back to Louisville. Well, so far, maybe I spoke too soon. I said maybe 10 minutes ago that maybe Marquette was a little bit higher match than Louisville, but Louisville proving us wrong so far. They're coming back. Just trying to stay in this game. It's only a two-goal game, as Menziver misses an open pass. Picked up by Archidiakono. And back in the stick of Lexi Ball. Lexi Ball was very much utilized as a sophomore last year. She was a two-time U.S. Lacrosse All-American in high school, so definitely something good to have on your Louisville roster if you're Lexi Ball. Yeah, Shanahan defended by Wilcox. And now Louisville, again, knocking on that door, trying to get this game to 1 goal. Looks like Kirsten Parker has Shanahan trying to switch defenders on him, but a good play. Here comes Shanahan trying to penetrate the defense. And now Louisville bring it back to the 12-meter arc. Lindsay Wilcox again finds Shanahan. Miller trying to put pressure on the defense, and here comes Gabriel out of nowhere. Gabriel definitely one of the quickest players in the Big East. And here comes Shea Garcia. Good spin move. Finds Gabriel again, and they'll drag it out, try to run a play. They've really been trying to just pass the ball around, try to find a little bit of defensive penetration. Find cutters. They've been doing a somewhat good job. They've been dry for about 8-10 minutes now. Grace Gabriel being very patient. Finds McGuire. Louisville pressuring with 2 defenders. Here comes Menziver. Menziver tries. Ball gets batted down, and now Shanahan has it, but batted down again. But a little too aggressive for the Golden Eagles as Louisville will begin to run with it. Here comes Sarah Blalock. Here she comes. And they find Scanlon. And that's exactly what they've been trying to do the entire afternoon. Get Scanlon cutting. They do just that. And now Louisville trails by just 1 here in the Delmet Valley Field, 7-6. Marquette still has now only a 1-goal lead. What was originally 6 at one point.
Jack, that was a pretty impressive assist from the sophomore Sarah Blalock. Her twin sister Caroline's on the field with her also. Last year, they combined for 51 goals, 15 assists, 66 points, and 55 ground balls.
You're really right, Amy, especially again, they've been trying to get it to Scanlon the whole day. They'll have her cut, but Marquette's usually been doing a great job being able to shut off that offensive opportunity for Scanlon. But all it took was a quick Sarah Blalock fast break. You saw how quick she ran the field, found Scanlon. Obviously, Miller had to come and stop the ball, leaving Scanlon wide open. Nothing you could really do for the Marquette defense there. It was a pretty great play on the offensive end for Louisville. It's now 7-6 with 4:37 left in the first half. It'll be Cooper again in the draw control against McNicholas. And yet again, McNicholas and the Cardinals have it again. Louisville is turning out to be a tougher opponent than Marquette may have earlier thought, as now Scanlon sends it over to Hall. Around the net, McNicholas. Nicholas being pressured now. Marquette looking like they're going to step up their defense as Caroline Blalock. One thing we really haven't mentioned about the Blalocks yet is that we've said their name too many times, so yes, they are twin sisters. Playing Collegiate Division I lacrosse. Not something that not a lot of twin sisters can say. Some good defense from Marquette as Lane Dolan sends it upfield with Gallagher. Charlotte McGuire, Lindsay Wilcox, Caroline Peterson now in for the Golden Eagles. Grace Gabriel, not one of the players on the field for the Golden Eagles right now. Even the best need to rest. I actually didn't mean to run there.
That's pretty good, Jack.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, Louisville again playing patient defense. Lindsay Wilcox looking for any area of defense that they can penetrate. And now a great play by Caroline Blalock. She's going to look to run the fast break. Here comes Louisville. And free position. Louisville could tie it here. Looks like Hannah Morris has a chance. My apologies, Tessa Chad. Yet again, could she tie this game here in Valley Fields? Good defense by Jules Horning. And Marquette retains the 1-goal possession lead. And Scanlon, yet again using her height to her advantage, has tied this matchup 7 apiece here in the Dome at Valley Fields. We'll talk about a turn of events. Marquette up 7-1 at one point, now tied 7-7. It's one of those things in especially college lacrosse, anything can change at any moment. Marquette obviously looked like they were in the driver's seat just 20 minutes ago, but now with 2:28 left in the first half, Marquette could be in the passenger seat, unfortunately, for the roster.
Jack, as you said in the beginning of the game, pretty evenly matched team. We kind of saw Marquette take the reins on that one, but now Louisville's coming back. Why do you think Louisville's had so much success in the past 10 minutes?
That's a good question, Amy. You know, I think Marquette, you know, and one thing I've been saying throughout the last 10, 15 minutes is that Marquette's really they haven't been pressuring Louisville as much. They've been kind of letting Marquette, or letting Louisville come to them in a sense. And if I were the Golden Eagles, I would want to press them a little bit more, try to force a turnover. Because Marquette, usually not too bad in turnovers. They were against Notre Dame, unfortunately, for Marquette, but they're definitely looking to change that. And they were doing well with that for the majority of the first half, but it has seemed to have swung around, not in their favor. Well, regardless, looks like Marquette still has the ball. Just over 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We said at about 8:30, with 8:30 left in the first half, that Louisville was definitely going to look to tie it, and they have done just that. You're just joining us here on GoMarquette.com/watch. Marquette University Television. You're listening to Jack Phillips and Amy Galashevsky bringing you some Marquette women's lacrosse here in the Dome at Valley Fields. Megan Menziber and the Golden Eagles on the offensive end right now. Grace Gabriel back in the game for the Golden Eagles. Trying to find something, Madison Kane being very well pressured by the Cardinal defense. Eddie Birch defending very strongly. Grace Gabriel goes for the cut, can't handle the pass. But a free position will be given to the Golden Eagles. Can they end the drought, Amy? That's the big question.
I think with the aggressiveness from Grace Gabriel right now, she looks hungry to score. I think we could end the drought.
Coming up at halftime, before we send it away, we'll give it to Megan Rock at some point to go over her thoughts on the first half. So please stay tuned for that. Just a minute, just over a minute left as Grace Gabriel ends the drought.
Jack, I think I called that one for you.
You did, you called it. You did not jinx the Golden Eagles. As now they lead 8-7. Grace Gabriel, that might have been Marquette's first goal in the last 15 minutes. Now, if history repeats itself, Amy, could we see Marquette go on a run?
We could see it.
We could see it. Now, unfortunately for Marquette, they only have about 1:17 to do so. So the odds of that happening are very slim to none. As I said before, it took Louisville about 5 or 6 minutes to score just 2 goals. So Louisville will look to tie it up before we head to halftime. Here on GoMarquette.com/watch. But Marquette really needed that goal. Now that they have it, they can at least try to get some momentum going before the end of this first half. Grace Gabriel will be back in the draw control circle, this time met by, looks like, Tessa Chad, possibly. My apologies, Shanahan.
Grace Gabriel certainly has her momentum back.
Well, Madison Kane running quickly for the Golden Eagles. Charlotte McGuire sends it over to Menziber as we now have just under a minute to play. Wilcox over to Grace Gabriel, the star of the show here for Marquette. And another free position. That's exactly what you don't want to do if you're a Louisville defender. One team statistic that I didn't mention about Marquette was their opponents when it comes to free position shots. When it comes to Marquette's free position shots, they were outscored by their opponents 67-34. So, in other words, usually it's the other team getting more free position opportunities for or against Marquette. But today it's been a tale of two stories. Tale of two sides, my apologies. 52.5 to go. Marquette looking to add a 9th goal before the conclusion of this first half of play. Grace Gabriel. Looks like something didn't go right, as stoppage of play has been administered by the refs. But they'll get a redo as Grace Gabriel looks to notch her 3rd goal of the afternoon, and she'll do just that. She has a hat trick. Marquette has a 2-goal lead, 9-7 with 49.5 to go here in the first half.
Grace Gabriel is Marquette's all-time leader with 116 goals. Hat trick just adds on to it today, Jack.
Yeah, you know, I haven't brought that up yet. Thank you for reminding me. Grace Gabriel, everyone assumed against Notre Dame that she'd be the main goal scorer. She had 0.
Right.
In that Notre Dame loss. So these are actually her first 3 goals of the 2019 season, yet this is still her 2nd game of her senior and her final year at Marquette. Which is another thing that if you're a Marquette fan, or if you're the Golden Eagles in general, you have to worry about, because you lose Allison Lane after the 2018 season. Now you're ready to lose Grace Gabriel, arguably your best player in program history. So Marquette, especially this year, it'll be interesting to see who Meredith Black tries to kind of pair with Gabriel, kind of mentor in a sense, to see who's going to be the new star of the show here at the Dome and Valley Fields for 2020 and beyond. But anyway, it'll be Gabriel in the draw control circle with Shanahan yet again. And Gabriel gets it. Shea Garcia getting a little defensive shove from the Cardinals defender. Looks like Ali Archidiakono putting pressure on that Golden Eagle offense. Just under 30 to go now here at Valley Fields. And a stoppage of play. Could this be another free position for Marquette? Looks like the ref is administering a card. We do not know what color. My apologies. The ref will actually not administer any yellow card. He was making the motion. It seemed like he was going to pull it out of his pocket, so didn't mean to confuse the viewers at home. But anyways, Grace Gabriel around the 12-meter fan tries to find a cutting Wilcox, can't get it, and Louisville has 13 seconds to make something happen. Down 2 goals here in the first 30 minutes of play. Let's see what Louisville will do as Sarah Blalock met by Wilcox. Jocelyn Miller might as well throw it downfield with the final seconds ticking away. And that'll do it here for the first half at the Dome at Valley Fields with a cheap shot, it looked like, from Louisville. Marquette fans did not like that final play. Miller hit the ground hard. She's okay. No foul administered. But with that, we're going to send it to our sideline reporter, Megan Rock, who's going to talk about her thoughts on the first half of play.
Jack and Amy, heading into halftime, Marquette really needs to fix their turnovers. They're very high, especially we saw that later in the first half when Louisville went on a run. But obviously Marquette was able to fix it towards the end of the second half, scoring 2 goals, Gabriel earning a hat trick in the first half. But another thing that Marquette needs to keep in mind is they need to play like a team. Coach Black said that after the Notre Dame game, they didn't really truly play like a team. So if they're able to keep that mentality of we will win from last season in the backs of their mind today, it will give them confidence to win. And just like last season, it brought them all the way to the Big East tournament and played #1 Florida. So if they keep that in the backs of their minds, they'll be good. And then one thing with Louisville, we know that they're capable of a comeback. They were able to do it in the Northwestern game. In the second half, they scored 7 goals, while Northwestern only scored 6. So we know that they're capable of this. Marquette needs to keep an eye out for that, especially on the defensive end.
Well, thank you, Megan, for your great first half analysis. We look forward to the second half analysis from our very own Megan Rock. Again, great job silent reporting, Megan. Regardless, Amy, before we go, what were your thoughts on the first half overall for Marquette and Louisville in general?
Marquette had a hot start. They definitely brought the heat on this cold February day, Jack. But then they started to lack a little bit. I think they got a little bit too confident there. And then towards the end, Marquette under Grace Gabriel just prevailed.
Well, you said it is cold here in Milwaukee. It's still pretty cold here in the Dome, but it's definitely colder outside. And we're going to look to warm up during halftime. With that, we're going to send it back. We're going to conclude the end of the first half. Regardless, thanks for listening to the first half of Marquette Women's Lacrosse versus Louisville. We'll be back in just a few moments to recap the first half and talk a little bit more about the second half of play. Stay tuned because we'll be right back. joining us here on GoMarquette.com/watch. You're listening to Marquette Women's Lacrosse versus the Louisville Cardinals here at the Dome and Valley Fields. I'm Jack Phillips. Alongside me today is Amy Galashevsky. Again, Amy, thanks for always being here with me. But regardless, we just saw a first half of play for Marquette and Louisville as the second half is just about to get underway. Marquette leads 9-7. They have a 2-goal advantage heading into the final 30 minutes of play. We've seen some great plays by Grace Gabriel, and on the other end, we've also seen some great plays by players like Tessa Chad, Caroline Blalock, and plenty of other Cardinal offensive players. So with that, we're starting the second half. Do you have any keys, Amy, heading into the second half? Any takeaways from the previous half?
Well, Jack, I think it all starts in the draw control circle, especially with the loss of Allison Lane last year. They're trying out a few different people. They're trying out Grace Gabriel,
and even
Cooper.
Players like Emily Cooper.
Yeah, right. They're
So,
trying out a few different people, and I think that's been really important in the beginning of the season.
well, as the refs wait to start the second half of play, just making sure the lacrosse sticks are legal. No cheating is being held here at the Dome and Valley Fields.
Jack, you see at the end of the first half, Marquette had a kind of momentum on offense. How do you think they'll be able to continue that into the second half?
Well, and we talked about this a little bit in the first half. I think it's going to be really interesting because remember, Marquette had a 7-1 advantage for a little bit, and then Louisville swung the momentum and they tied it back up. Now Marquette, you could say the momentum's on their side, but that 15-minute halftime period, you never know. It could have totally just shut down their momentum, and it could go right back to Louisville, or Marquette, like you said, could pick up right back where they left off. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. As right now, it looks like both Louisville and Marquette just circling up just to make sure they're all on the same page. But if I had to give a prediction, I'd say I think that Marquette will continue the momentum. Again, they have that mentality of scoring 2 goals to end the first half. They're in the driver's seat for now. That being said, Louisville came right back after they had 6 goals in a row. So we'll see what happens, but it's definitely going to be an interesting second half of play.
Megan mentioned before that Coach Black says that the offense needs to work more as a team, and I think we have been seeing that here today. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep doing that in the second half.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. When you look at the actual goal scoring, like the way breaking it down, Gabriel has a hat trick with 3, Madison Kane has 2, and then the last 5 goals are all individual goals from 5 other Golden Eagle players. And honestly, with the same end with the Louisville Cardinals, they have 2 goal scorers with 2 goals, and then everyone else is individual. So again, we'll see what happens. It's definitely going to be a really interesting second half. I don't know why the refs are waiting to start the second half of play yet. We're looking to get a word from the refs if we can hear them. Now remember, Marquette coming off of that loss against Notre Dame on Friday afternoon. They lost 19-4. They only scored 4 goals in 60 minutes of play. They've scored 9 in 30. Again, talk about a turn of events here in the Valley. And on the other end, for Louisville, they're coming off a 21-11 loss. That game against Northwestern, a little bit more of a tougher opponent. But then again, both Notre Dame and Northwestern, storied programs in women's lacrosse. So,
Jack, looks like things are about to begin again.
well, it certainly looks like it's certainly about time, as Marquette and Louisville look pretty antsy to get play going and see who will take home the W, their first W of the season. Will it be Louisville? Will it be Marquette? We'll find out in the next 30 minutes as Grace Gabriel and Alex McNicholas look to handle the draw control. And it looks like Louisville gains possession and an early foul call. A little too tough from the Golden Eagle defense. And here comes Sarah Blalock, getting pushed. Getting past defenders still. Louisville around the 12-meter fan. Looking for something. It looks like it'll be Tessa Chad. She has 2 goals today. Over to Caroline Blalock. Back to Hannah Morris. My apologies, back to Scanlon. And now here comes Caroline Blalock. Finds Tessa Chad. Being well defended by the Golden Eagles here in Dowdle. Trying to keep Caroline Blalock at bay. Looks like Kayla Marshall trying to put the moves on Anna Gallagher. Here comes Carolyn Blalock. And we'll see if the first free position play of the second half. This could be the opportunity where Louisville will strike first.
This one's going to Carolyn Blalock.
Carolyn Blalock has yet to score in this match, something we're not used to saying. But again, another jinx. I spoke too soon, just like you said, Amy. Louisville scores 9-8 now, the score. And Louisville strikes first here in the second half of play against Marquette.
Jack, her list of honors, the list can go on and on. She was named the All-ACC second team, the IL Women All-Rookie team. It could seriously go on and on. Last year, she scored 4 goals against Marquette, so now we're finally seeing one on the board from her today.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, but you haven't even mentioned the best part of her resume, so to speak. All that you just mentioned, she was a freshman when she did that. She's only a sophomore right now. Again, second team All Big East. Definitely the best player on this Louisville roster, yet her teammates have carried her along the way. She only has now her first goal of the game. She was the leading goal scorer last year. She had 43 on the 2018 season. As it'll be McNicholas and looks like Gabriel yet again in the draw control circle. And this time it'll be Gabriel. And here she comes. She's so quick with the way she moves. Yet McNicholas gets it right back. Almost intercepted by the Golden Eagles, but Caroline Blalock able to recover. Now Louisville knocking on the door, trying to tie the game back up at 9. Louisville has yet to lead in this game.
Closest they got was that tie at 7-7.
Yes, it was. Just over 28 to go here in the second half. Caroline Blalock going to send it over to her twin sister, Sarah. Sarah Blalock, the midfielder. Caroline at attack. McNicholas, definitely been a key player in this game so far for the Cardinals. Winning many possessions for the Cardinals in the draw control circle. You see Sarah Blalock looking for Tessa Chad. Gets within the 8-meter fan, but the goal will not count. It'll be a free position shot. Tessa Chad will have a second opportunity to try and tie this game up at 9. Waiting on the ref's whistle. Here comes Chad. A little too high. Hit the corner. Jules Horning been doing a pretty good job between the pipes.
I think Marquette has a lot to owe to her. Last year, she set the single-season saves record with 153. And we've seen nothing but great things from her today.
And last year, it was no doubt that it was definitely Marquette's best per year in program history. Again, they notched their first postseason berth. They had great players like Allison Lane, Grace Gabriel. But now, the Golden Eagles, the biggest question with their season is how are they going to rebound? How are they going to try and get better as the program continues to age? Meredith Black's been the head coach for the program all 7 of its years.
I think they have all the pieces there, Jack. They need to figure out how to mold them together correctly.
You're definitely right on that one, Amy. After the wild shot from Ellie Hall, Jules Horning picks it up, and the Golden Eagles have another offensive opportunity. Although Jules Horning being pressured by Kayla Marshall. Here comes Lane Dolan. Sends it back over to Anna Gallagher. Now in the hands of the sticks of Faust. Here she comes weaving through the defense. Lost the grip on it. And now she'll try to go back net. But a stoppage of play. Seems a little too close for a free position, or a little too far for a free position opportunity, as it will be. It'll be Faust again. She'll send it over to Sakadato, who's going to send it middle to Grace Gabriel, and now Menziber and Gabriel are going to look to get something going for the Golden Eagles. Defensive pressure by the Cardinals. Faust Back to Sakadata, finds a cutting Menziber, or McGuire, my apologies. Menziber trying to put the moves on. Here comes Madison Kane. Wanted a foul, she'll get it, and here comes a free position. Could be the first goal of the second half for the Golden Eagles with Madison Kane's opportunity.
Madison Kane already has 2 on the day, Jack.
She already has 2. Looking for that hat trick to join her teammate Grace Gabriel. Again, Madison Kane, a name you're not used to saying if you covered the Marquette team in 2018. But a new season brings new tales as Madison Kane splits the defender's
There's that
legs.
hat trick for her.
Lexi Ball couldn't handle that one. And now we have a 10-8 game here in the Dome at Valley Fields in favor of Marquette. Marquette gains a 2-goal advantage yet again.
Madison Kane is someone who's quick, nimble, aggressive, and that can be given to her playing basketball and volleyball in high school.
And we've said this a lot, but a lot of these lacrosse players, especially when you're playing Division I lacrosse, they're the epitome of athletic. They play definitely a lot of high school sports. When we were doing our research, the amount of players that played track and field hockey, volleyball, soccer, and definitely like 3-4 sport athletes at some point. So it's definitely been very interesting to see that in the research. As we're about to see Alex McNicholas with Grace Gabriel.
Grace Gabriel has 5 draw controls on the day so far.
She makes it 6. As Lindsay Wilcox, speeding like a bullet. Unbelievable play by Wilcox. She notches a goal. She notches a 3-goal lead for Marquette. And now it's 11-8 in favor of the Golden Eagles. Wow, that goal was very impressive from Wilcox.
Second one on the day, Jack. Last season, she had 8 goals and 36 draw controls. Clearly coming into this game with that speed. Definitely what the Golden Eagles needed.
Well, if you're a fan of Marquette women's lacrosse, that may have given you flashbacks to what you saw in 2018 when you would see Allison Lane get the draw control, send it to Gabriel. Gabriel would speed down the midfield, splitting defenders left and right, finding the back of the net. Definitely a little bit of deja vu if you're a Golden Eagle fan. Can they repeat it, though? That's the big question. Okay, Grace Gabriel. She's been doing a great job with draw control. And it'll go back to Louisville. My apologies, it'll actually be a redo on the draw control. Gabriel versus McNicholas yet again. Well, Wilcox fighting with McNicholas for possession, but a little too rough of a defensive performance there on the Golden Eagles side. It'll go back to Louisville. And now the Cardinals come marching down the field, playing patiently. Still have over 25 minutes left in this half of play. Only down 3. Momentum definitely went back to Marquette, though, especially after that Wilcox goal. She scored within 5 seconds. Definitely the quickest goal of the 2019 season thus far for Marquette. As now Caroline Blalik tries to go one-on-one with Gabriel. Can't find it. Tries to find Chad. But Faust playing a little too rough on the defensive end. It'll be back for Chad and the Cardinal offense. Here comes Blalik against Gabriel. She can't get open. She gets a little bit of room. She fires
Another
a shot
save
wide.
From Juliana Horning.
Definitely a great save, Amy. Is now Marquette trying to get the ball back, but they'll do just that. Good play from freshman Shea Garcia. Someone you might be pretty familiar with if you remember the Notre Dame game. She notched her first collegiate career goal against the Fighting Irish in Friday afternoon's loss.
You know, Jack, that's got to feel great. Coming in as a freshman, you score your first goal in the first game against Notre Dame, who's number 20 ranked. And today she's scoring another goal. It's got to be a good confidence booster for her.
Marquette always trying to challenge themselves with tough opponents, like the Fighting Irish on Friday. And Louisville, the same thing, challenging themselves against Northwestern. Both teams, again, looking for their first W of this new season. Marquette has the upper hand right now as Charlotte McGuire fires one cross over to Shea Garcia, back to Faust. Good defensive performance so far from the Cardinals in general. Grace Gabriel sends it over to Charlotte McGuire, trying to cross it to Faust. Ooh, that would have been a great play, but a good defensive stop from ball. Almost like an alley-oop in lacrosse. You ever seen something like that?
I have not, Jack.
She went up for it, tried to catch it in midair and fire a high to low shot. Bounced a little too hard, enough for Alexi Ball to get a grip on it. And now the Cardinals will have the ball back on the offensive end. Wow, that could have been a top 10 Sports Center play.
Oh, for sure.
Had she landed that. Definitely impressive. Again, Marquette still hanging on to a somewhat comfortable 3-goal lead as Louisville throws it away, giving Marquette the opportunity again.
Jack, I don't even know if you could say it's comfortable. In D1 lacrosse, so competitive you never know.
You're totally right. I tried to phrase that more as like a somewhat, like they have the lead, but it's definitely not like an easy win coming, you know? So. But yes, you're definitely right, Amy. Anything can happen in collegiate lacrosse, especially in a Division I program like Marquette or Louisville. Anyway, Sakadato back to Menziber at the top of the 12-meter arc. 12-meter fan, my apology. As Grace Gabriel met by Blalock. These two have been going at it one-on-one. Definitely the most important matchup between these two teams. As now Grace Gabriel trying to penetrate the defensive end. She'll do just that. She'll find the top right back of the net, and she'll make it a 4-goal lead for the Golden Eagles.
Jack, she takes it in all by herself. Clearly she's talented, but something really special about her is how humble she is. She hates talking about her accolades, even though there's definitely something to be talked about.
Well, if you're Marquette, you must love to have a player on your team like that, staying humble despite all the hype around her. Again, I mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, but she was the preseason unanimous All-Big East first team. So when you have so many coaches, especially in such a highly touted conference like the Big East, speaking that highly of you, you know, if the ego can get to your head. But again, Grace Gabriel doing a great job of canceling out the outside noise and staying humble to her true self. She's definitely a player to look up to in collegiate lacrosse, as Marquette and Louisville will get a timeout here on the field. So far, a pretty interesting second half. It's 12-8 again. We're going to send it over to our sideline reporter, Megan Rock, to talk a little bit more about what her thoughts on the second half. Megan?
Jack and Amy, one thing that we haven't really touched on today is Jules Horning goaltending. We know that she's incredible behind the net, in the cage, but with 153 saves, one thing that we haven't talked about is how mentally tough and strong that she is between the cage. And one thing that most people don't know about her is when she came to Marquette, that she was discovered on accident by Coach Black. Coach Black actually went to her high school in Pennsylvania scouting out another player, but when she saw Horning play in the cage, she asked her coach right away if she was available, and she was. But when she got on campus here at Marquette, there was one problem. She had the same name as leading scorer Juliana Shearer when she was a senior, and Jules Horning was a freshman. So one thing Coach Black and Jules Horning had to work on was a nickname for her. They came up with Juice. Juliana Horning's mom used to call her Juice, and it's interesting to see on the sidelines. I'm sure you're hearing it in the booth. Coach Black screaming, "Big save, Juice," or "Here comes a big save." So that's an interesting aspect that she brings to this Marquette team, is that she is mentally strong and really holding back her team from the cage.
Once again, thank you for the great analysis, Megan Rock. Always a pleasure to have her on hand with the Marquette University television program broadcast. And again, I like how she mentioned Juliana Horning. Yeah, the nickname story has always been really interesting because I've always wondered why they call her Jules. I always assumed it was just by a preferable name, but I didn't realize there was an actual backstory with another Juliana on a Marquette roster. So really interesting story, good research, Megan.
You can hear all her teammates screaming it, supporting her. Good save, Jules, all that.
Well, she definitely has been if not the best goaltender in program history, one of the best goaltenders in Marquette program history. So with that, again, it's Marquette with a full 4-goal lead. I'll say this for Amy's, or I'll say this more for you, Amy. It's not a comfortable lead, but it's there. It's a lead. So anyway, just messing with you. But Marquette up by 4, 22-26 left in the second half. Will Louisville gain momentum again? We do not know. We'll find out in just a few moments as Alex McNicholas and again Grace Gabriel in the draw control circle. And this time it'll be Gabriel, and she, as said before, one of the quickest players in collegiate lacrosse. Here comes Wilcox trying to put the moves on Louisville's defense, but got a little too much of a push there, as now Shea Garcia sends it back to Wilcox at the top of the arc. Just passing around the 12-meter fan right now is the Golden Eagles. Looking for any slight hole. Marquette being patient. They really don't have to rush anything. They still have as I said before, they are kind of in the driver's seat right now. They have good opportunity to win this game. There's almost a great play by Menziber.
Jacko, we just saw Madison Kane sub in. She's having a good day today. 3 goals on the day. Looking for a 4th.
Her and Grace Gabriel already have a hat trick. That's now Grace Gabriel. Thought about driving in, decided not to. Finds a cutting Menziber. Second time Menziber almost had a goal based on cutting. Tried to penetrate that 8-meter arc. But just a little too rough of a defensive try by Louisville. So now Sacadato tries to get within the fan. Here comes Wilcox. She has the second most recent goal. Passing it around, throws it away, and it looks like Caroline Blalock will make them pay, as she now has possession with the Cardinals, and they are on the offensive end.
Jack, that's something that Marquette really needs to work on. Today we had 12 turnovers. We had a bunch against Notre Dame the other day. We just really need to focus on making those clean passes.
Well, if you're just joining, thanks for joining us here on GoMarquette.com/watch, as well as Marquette University Television. Jack Phillips alongside Amy Galashewski, bringing you Marquette Women's Lacrosse. Just over 20 to go in this final half of play, as now Menziber has an opportunity with the Golden Eagles on a fast break. They'll slow it down, try to bring an offensive play. Here comes Wilcox, as well as Madison Kane. Good ball movement for the Golden Eagles. They've done a great job of sharing the ball in this game. Squad looking to notch their first victory of the 2019 season, as Menziber cuts through. Can't handle it, but it could be a free position. It looks like it might be an opportunity for the Golden Eagles to notch a 5-goal advantage. And it'll be Wilcox with the opportunity. Can Lexi Ball keep it within 4? And she can. Good defense from Lexi Ball. Keeping this game close, but now Grace Gabriel has an opportunity. Good defense by Caroline Blalock. And now here comes Louisville. Blalock speeding down the midfield, crossing. Looking for her twin sister, Sarah. Finds her. Finds Tessa Chad. And it looks like Louisville had an opportunity, but they'll have to settle for a free position. Can they make this game within 3? Tessa Chad fires one home, hits the back of the net, 12-9 Louisville. Back on the board here in the second half now.
Now that gives Tessa Chad a hat trick. She had a hat trick against Northwestern the other day.
Well, 2 hat tricks in a row to start her 2019 season, both on the road both on the road matches. So, very impressive performance from Tessa Chad in both games, despite the loss against Northwestern. But yeah, now 12-9 Louisville only trails by 3. 19-14 left in the second half of play. Both these teams, and I spoke too soon when I said this earlier, but originally I thought Marquette maybe had the advantage, but these teams are very evenly matched. It seems like when one team throws a punch, the other's lands another one right in the face. So, and obviously I mean that not literally, but that would be boxing. But regardless, still, it's going to be Emily Cooper in the draw control circle versus McNicholas. A very interesting strategy from Coach Black. You know, Grace Gabriel's been doing a pretty good job handling McNicholas within the draw control circle. But again, I think they're trying to find their new Allison Lane. Could it be Emily Cooper? Here comes Caroline Block with a beautiful spin move. The draw control circle, draw control won by Alex McNicholas. We're also on MarquetteWire.org during this broadcast, so tune in there if you would like to listen to us on that platform. Well, anyway, it's a free position shot for Louisville. Looks like Carolyn Blalock has a chance to make it a 2-goal game. And what a stop from Jules Horning. Megan said earlier how good of a goalie she's been and how much she's meant to this Marquette team, and right there she's proven her worth.
Marquette's lucky to have her for one more year next year.
And again, the next big question is, the one thing with collegiate lacrosse and collegiate sports in general is the future, because you never know, like you might have a great year that one year and then the next year you think, well, who's going to replace this person and this person? So Jules Horning, Grace Gabriel, big names like that, you have to wonder if your coach Meredith Black and the rest of the coaching staff with the Golden Eagles, who's going to be their future?
Right. There's a few potential options. We have Sophia Leva.
And she saw playing time last year, so
right.
Yeah. Well, Grace Gabriel and the Marquette Golden Eagles hanging around the 12-meter fan, except Sakadato trying to penetrate. Backs it up to Carolyn Peterson. And a good defensive stop there from Louisville. Tries to swing it out. Carolyn Blalock and Gabriel fighting. Gabriel handles it over to McGuire. Puts a move on McNicholas. Good fake by Wilcox. And a little too hard of a foul. But it'll go back to Louisville.
Jack, I think it's interesting how it's a completely different dynamic in women's lacrosse versus men's as far as like aggressiveness.
Well, and not only do they wear different padding, and obviously because of one sport's a lot more of a contact sport, but still, yeah, they are a very different, they're a much different game, yet being the same sport, just having the same name. So always interesting differences between men's and women's lacrosse. Proud to broadcast it here on MarquetteWire.org and Marquette University Television. As looks like Cassie New hasn't really done much in the game yet, but almost split 5 defenders in that route. It's pretty impressive for Louisville. But now it's Menziber, who has a really big opportunity for the goal, but she gets tripped up. And Menziber is down. She appears to be a little injured, a little shaken up. Can she play through it? We'll find out.
I think that's where the issues arise when they're not playing with helmets, Jack, you know?
We've talked about this with Coach Black and a lot of different Big East coaches and coaches in general with lacrosse, but a lot of lacrosse coaches want to keep the aesthetic to the game, making sure that it really doesn't grow away too away from too much traditional values of the game of women's lacrosse and men's lacrosse in general. So honestly, even the headwear they have for their eyes is like the biggest stretch they'll make for women's lacrosse. But a lot of coaches refuse to turn to padding and make it more of a contact sport. So, which is somewhat interesting because you have to respect the fact that they want to keep women's lacrosse like traditional, back to the way it started.
But then you look at the ball that they're playing with. And I'm thinking over here, I would never want to get hit with that.
There's a reason we're broadcasting and not playing it. Not only because of our athletic ability, but because of, I believe we both would have a fear of getting hit in the shin with a lacrosse ball. That would not be too pleasant.
Come on, Jack, you're pretty athletic.
You know, I got so many D1 offers, I just had to turn it down and decide to broadcast. So anyway, back to play. It looks like Menziber is okay. She'll take a break, though. Looks like Caroline Steller will replace her on the defensive end. On the offensive end, my apologies. Caroline Peterson tries to penetrate, and it looks like we have a free position coming for Marquette. It'll be Caroline Peterson with the offensive opportunity. Here comes Peterson. And no good. Marquette thought it was a goal for a second. Peterson didn't drop her stick. Couldn't tell with the ref's call, but it ends up being a no goal. Still 12-9 here with just over 16 to go here in the second half of play. Louisville, McNicholas. Little stutter step there, tried to fake out the Marquette defender. Louisville's going to pass it around now. Trying to find any openings they can. They only trail by 3. They've trailed at most by 6 so far, and that was way early in the first half when they were down 7-1. They brought it back to a tie game at 7, and now they only trail by 3. Marquette still in the driver's seat a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see.
Still have that little comfortable lead.
That slight comfortable lead. Come on, Amy, you trying to make me look bad? Whatever. Anyway, Carolyn Blalock being well defended by Jocelyn Miller. Kayla Marshall seen some time for Louisville. Tessa Chad waiting patiently for something. Sarah Blalock with her sister Caroline. Tessa Chad goes around the arc. Almost gets it, just hits the edge.
Off the pole.
Right off the pole indeed. Louisville had a pretty comfortable possession, a fresh shot clock now. They have 82 left on the shot clock. And that's something new that we haven't talked about yet, the new shot clock with women's lacrosse. So
I think the shot clock is something super interesting. It really gives the game a sense of urgency. I think that's something Marquette lacks a lot. But the first half, when Grace Gabriel scored right at the buzzer beater of the shot clock, just shows that sense of urgency is important.
And it was new last year too, so something interesting about that. And they just added it to men's lacrosse too. Granted, theirs was an 80-second shot clock, so definitely an interesting aspect of the game at least. So next time out, we'll have more coverage from Megan Rock to talk about her thoughts about the second half of play so far and how she thinks the Marquette and Louisville teams will conclude this game. Be sure to tune in for that. Well, Marquette trying to make something happen on the offensive end. Being patient, they don't need to rush. As now Sakadato gets around, she got slashed.
Looks like her eyes.
Yeah, and just as you mentioned before, you were wondering about the helmets and stuff, but the eyewear is that one piece of equipment that coaches will allow to not ruin the aesthetic of the game. And that's exactly where you see why. Well, it'll be a free position shot. Opportunity. Marquette moving it around the fan. Marquette's been hanging patiently around the 20-meter fan for a majority of the game. They're very patient. Both teams have really not put too much pressure on the defensive end. So, interesting strategy from both Marquette and Louisville. As now another free position is issued for Sakadato. And a good stop by Lexi Ball. Keeping this game close. There hasn't been a goal in a while, as we're just under 14 left here in the second half. Both teams going a little dry right now.
I think this is where you're going to see the battle of the offense.
Ooh, and a little too tough on Charlotte McGuire. She accidentally batted the head of the Louisville offensive player, Maddie Birch, the sophomore midfielder from Wall, New Jersey. Louisville roster did not like that, but accidents happen.
Maddie Birch broke a lot of records in high school, and last year as a freshman on the team, she saw action in 16 games with 9 starts, Jack.
And she was actually a four-year letter winner in lacrosse at Wall High School. And she actually didn't play in 2016 of her junior year of high school because of an injury. So one of those players that is able to overcome a major injury, especially sitting out a whole season. So that's going to be rough. Still making it to a Division I program.
Impressive.
Very impressive indeed. Well, anyway, Madison Kane in for the Golden Eagles. Shea Garcia. Sakadato doing a great job so far. And Louisville, again, really patient offense and defense from both squads. Coach Cheater trying to tell his players to slow it down, want to play. As now Blalock, Sarah Blalock, finds the back of the net. 12-10, Louisville down by 2 now.
That's Sarah Blalock's first goal of the game. Twin sister got one earlier.
And again, we mentioned this before, but her twin sister Caroline, last year, I believe she had 43 goals in the season. She actually led the team in that, so it'll be interesting to see if her play picks up as the game goes along. Obviously, you know, we've played a majority of lacrosse here so far in this matchup, but both the Blacks definitely important pieces to the lacrosse roster, not lacrosse, to the Louisville roster. But anyway, Marquette down 2 now, 13:07 left. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, Amy. If you had to guess right now, who would you guess is going to come out on top with the score so evenly matched right now?
Sure. Marquette kind of has that momentum right now, despite the goal that just happened. Grace Gabriel has 4 on the night. She's still trying to make something happen over there on offense. So while Louisville has this little momentum right now, I think Marquette will get it back.
I agree with you. I think Marquette, this is such an important game because they dropped such an embarrassing loss to, again, a storied program like Notre Dame. So not a huge surprise there. But when you compare it to 2018's points, they only lost by a few goals against Notre Dame. We thought maybe Marquette would put up more of a fight. But again, losing Allison Lane was definitely a huge loss for their program. But now it's Sarah Blalock yet again, rushing downfield. And there's a hold on Marquette. Continuation will be assessed. And Sarah Blalock will have it. Clock is not running. Well, Caroline Blalock in for the Cardinals. Tessa Chad. Looks like Kayla Marshall. Been one interesting game so far. Behind the net, Allie Hall. Guarded by Madison Kane. We've seen Madison on both the offense and defensive ends. As now McNicholas checks back in for the Cardinals. Tried to find an open cutter, couldn't get it. But Hall goes around the net, finds and threads the needle for the back of the net, scoring on Jules Horning, making the game 12-11. Marquette's lead is down to 1 here in the Dome at Valley Fields.
We've seen a lot of this tonight, Jack. We've seen this 1-point deficit makes it really tight.
And it looks like we have a timeout this time going to Marquette, as Coach Black wants to talk to her team and remind them of how important and how close this game is. But with that, we're going to send it over to our sideline reporter, Megan Rock, who's standing live.
Jack and Amy, as we saw with that last goal, it was the same play that Louisville ran twice. It was a cutting goal. Over here on the sidelines, I'm hearing the head coach scream 22. Clearly that is a play that resembles cutting, and Louisville has been very capable of doing cutting the past 2 goals. So that's one thing Marquette needs to stop defensively, especially when we hear the head coach yell 22 from the sidelines.
Thanks, Megan, for that great analysis, as always. You know, it's interesting. You'd think that the number 22 would maybe mean like a player, but if I'm looking at the roster right now, the only 22 is Sarah Stratton, and we've yet to see any play from the freshman midfielder from Shelbyville, Kentucky. So, I have no idea what the number 22 means, but then again, in sports, so many numbers mean so many different things. Yeah. So you know what? It could mean run a cut for Caroline Blalock. You really have no idea. That's the great thing about sports. Anyway,
that was a good catch, Megan.
It was a good catch by Megan Rock. Great job. But anyway, Louisville, they're knocking on the door again, down by only 1 goal And I know we said just like 2 minutes ago, we were talking about, yeah, we think Marquette's going to eventually regain momentum. But if you look at it now, Louisville.
Do I have to take that back?
No, you don't. You don't have to take it back just yet because again, that's been this whole game.
Right.
Marquette again, they go on a run, then Louisville goes on a run. Then Marquette takes a 2-goal advantage, then they expand it to 3 or 4, and now Louisville's down by 1 now. So the one thing that's been interesting though is Marquette's been able to bounce back in this game. So Louisville's never had a lead, which is why it would make sense for us to choose Marquette in the sense of who's going to win this game. But you really don't know what's going to happen, especially when you look at Louisville and how, remember last year in non-conference they were 6-3.
Right.
So then again, Marquette was pretty good too. So you know, it's potato. To be technical, they were actually 4-5 in non-conference. So in Big East they went 6-3. So if we're going based on non-conference schedules, Louisville does have that advantage as McNicholas trying to fight with Gabriel in the draw control circle as Gabriel ends up with it. Definitely a clash of the Titans when it comes to McNicholas and Gabriel within that draw control circle. Marquette being patient. Ref will stop the clock. I believe what I'm seeing is that a lacrosse stick snapped in half.
Abby Roskovich.
Abby Roscovich's lacrosse stick just snapped in half. Am I the only one who's weirded out by that?
I think that's a little strange.
Is that normal in lacrosse? I've never seen that. That's like it's normal when a baseball bat breaks, like
right.
in like the major leaguers. That's like if we were watching a basketball game and like someone popped the basketball. Can you imagine someone like Marcus Howard or anyone else in the Big East just popping a basketball? I'm sorry, that struck me. Wow. Well, there's your stat of the game, everybody. Louisville has 1 broken stick compared to Marquette 0. Anyway, Kate Sacadato and the Marquette offense back in play. Less than 60 seconds on the shot clock, so they have plenty of time. Grace Gabriel cutting. Shot wide as Lexi Ball continues her defensive performance. That's been pretty good in this matchup with Marquette. But Marquette still has the ball. Finds a cutting Gabriel, and Gabriel's shot goes high. 2 great opportunities for the Golden Eagles. Missed by Gabriel.
Jack, I think Gabriel still needs to keep taking those shots. I think that's extremely important in trying to get this lead higher.
Oh, definitely important. Gabriel's definitely one of the best, or probably the best player in program history. So if you're Marquette, you want to continue to run through the person that's been able to get them wins and get them clutch performances. Well, here we go. Sacadato picks it up. And now it's McGuire with the key opportunity. Looking for a cutting Madison Kane. She won't find her as now Menziber tries to penetrate. Getting through. Finds Sacadato, whose shot goes wide. Marquette picks it back up, though. Grace Gabriel and the Marquette offense, despite the missed last few shots, they've been able to get those balls back and continue trying, putting a lot of pressure on this defense now, forcing Louisville to work. And a fight for the Blues ball. Who's going to pick up that ground ball? And it's a shot clock violation. And Marquette fans did not like that call. They thought it was a opportunity for Marquette to have a fast break with Wilcox, but it'll go back to Louisville. So many close calls are going to be very important in this game. Get used to hearing fans' reactions for the next 10 minutes as we tick down from 10.
There's that speed from Sarah Blalock again.
Again, yeah, she's definitely one of the fastest players on this team and probably in the ACC. Well, Marquette's defensive play gets them the ball back, and now it's Marquette coming back offensively. They haven't scored in a while, but again, that's been the story of the whole game. Both teams going on droughts, but then going on runs. So it's like drip or dry, you know. So anyway, Madison Kane, the Marquette offense, desperately looking to get some type of goal, some type of momentum. And Wilcox will pick up the ground ball. Sacadato finds Grace Gabriel. They don't really have the room to be patient at this point. They only have a 1-goal lead, so Doesn't really work when it's that close. As now McGuire looks for Sakadato, finds Menziber. Wilcox backs it out, finds McGuire, fakes, thought she got slashed, looks like she did. Could we see a free position here at the Dome in Valley Fields? McGuire could have a key opportunity.
Jack, we saw a lot from McGuire the other day with those goals against Notre Dame.
We did see a lot from McGuire. She was one of the only bright spots in that game, as now Marquette gets back on the board. 13-11, they gain a two-goal advantage. 13-11 with 8:51 left in this matchup. That was a big shot from Marquette. Well, now the momentum, again, we've been talking about this the whole game. It's been on both sides, switching back and forth. I don't know, I mean, it might have been, the momentum might be shifting back to Marquette again, and just in the nick of time.
It's nice to see it coming from Charlotte McGuire. This is her first goal on the day against Notre Dame. She had 2 the other day, led the team there. Nice to see that coming back.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, she was one of the only bright spots in that matchup with Notre Dame. Marquette was out hustled, they were out competed in general. Looking to erase that matchup, bring a dub home for the home team. As everyone likes to say, win-win for the home team. That's probably been Marquette's mentality. Is now a key opportunity from Shea Garcia. She slipped and fell. A key fast break opportunity was ruined, but now they'll try to run a play as Madison Kane finds Sakadato. Looking for cutters. Menziber cuts. Can't find her. Here comes Grace Gabriel at the top. That 12-meter fan has been very friendly for the Golden Eagles today. Charlotte McGuire. Screened by Gabriel. Sakadato. Been a key piece for the Marquette roster. She fell down, looking for a foul, not going to get it. Now here comes McNicholas and the Louisville Cardinal offense. And Marquette's defense getting some play in here. Can Jules Horning prevent any offense here? And Louisville right back with a goal. 12-13, 7:49 left in the second half. Louisville bench getting hyped. It's a close game between 2 close competitors.
That goal by Allie Hall gives her a hat trick now on the day. Sophomore from Harwood, Maryland.
We mentioned Allie Hall previously, but she actually was one of the top 6 goal scorers from the team last year. She had 19 goals on the season, an assist. She actually had a 67% shot on goal percentage, and including a game-winning goal that she notched last season as well. So you want to talk about clutch performers when Allie Hall might be one of those girls.
There she is.
So. I know we've talked a lot about turnovers. I know our own Megan Rock talked about it a little bit too, as McNicholas and Gabriel go for the draw control. But when it comes to Louisville in 2018, they actually had less turnovers than their opponents by a total of 302 to 258. So Louisville's been generally better at not turning the ball over from last season. Again, Marquette doesn't really have the room to be patient at this point. This game could really go down to the wire, and it'll be really interesting to see how it concludes. Marquette doesn't have a comfortable enough lead at all to be able to just sit back and watch the game, or watch the clock just tick down, especially with the new with implementing the shot clock from last year. So something to help speed the game up and make sure that teams don't have the luxury of just throwing the ball away. Anyway, Grace Gabriel splits the defenders, gets past Lexi Ball, finds the back of the net, and now she regains the 2-goal lead, 14-12 for the Golden Eagles.
Jack, that's her 5th goal on the day. Grace Gabriel is someone who lives for this moment, lives to lead her team to the top, and here she is doing it for you.
You're not wrong at all. Grace Gabriel, again, one of the best players in Marquette program history, if not the best player in program history. So Grace Gabriel this is nothing new for her, being the go-to girl on this roster. She's got some good pieces around her, and Sakadato, and looks like Madison Kane, who's really stepped up her play compared to freshman year. She didn't have too much opportunity, but now heading into her sophomore year, she's gotten a lot of defensive and offensive opportunities on this Golden Eagle roster.
Look at this, Jack. She gets that goal. Now she has to get that focus again in that draw control circle because it's crucial right here.
That's one of those key things in lacrosse. You can't celebrate too long because Louisville could come right back in the next 5 seconds and make it a 1-goal game again. So if you're just joining us again, 14-12 on MarquetteWire.org, as well as Marquette University Television. I'm Jack Phillips alongside Amy Galashewski from the women's lacrosse.
Can't forget about our sideline reporter, Megan Rock.
Of course, Megan Rock. Fun fact, Megan Rock likes to record her stats on her iPad. Little shout out for Megan Rock. Got to throw out the fun facts, you know, have some fun on these broadcasts. Anyway. Marquette regains the ball. Now Charlotte McGuire pressured pretty hard. Looks like it'll be a foul on Allie Hall.
This one's getting the crowd rowdy again.
Well, the crowd should be rowdy. It's a close game. It's an honor. It's a privilege to be calling this game, especially.
A win from this game would be crucial for either team coming off a loss in their first game of the season. This is what they need to carry momentum into the rest of the season.
Well, Louisville, pretty high speed at this point now. Sarah Blalock, along with players like Scanlon, McNicholas, her twin sister, Caroline, taking down to just under 6 minutes to tie this game up. Some good ball movement. Surprisingly, you're seeing a patient Louisville offense. You think they'd be really trying to rush this game and try to tie this game up. Could be all strategy from head coach Scott Teeter. Marquette, good defense as Anna Gallagher swings it across field. And now here comes Marquette. Charlotte McGuire has it in the middle. Heads to the left side. She's taking this very far. Hands it over to Madison Kane. Over to Faust. Here comes Kate Sakadato. Good pressure from Louisville.
That's a good side cut.
A very good side cut as Madison Kane trying to penetrate that 12-meter fan. But Louisville doing a great job of trying to, as they like to say, protect the area, protect the middle area. Looks like it could be a continuation, a free position play for Gabriel, and a good stop by Lexi Ball. Grace Gabriel trying to notch her 6th goal of the afternoon, as well as give her team a 3-goal lead. A good cut.
Good reach.
Good cut from Gabriel. Good stop from Ball. Lexi Ball, despite the score, I think she's been doing a pretty good job of handling this Marquette offense, especially with such a great player like Gabriel. A continuation, free position for Marquette. Madison Kane, defended well by Tessa Chad. And now Louisville has it again.
I think Tessa Chad is one of those versatile players. She gets 3 goals on offense, and she has like good defense.
Now we've seen plenty of runs from both squads, but now it seems like we've hit that point in the game where both teams there's going to be no more runs at this point. It's going to be back and forth.
Right.
So Marquette has the most recent goal. Louisville trails by 2. Thanks for joining us on MarquetteWire.org as well as Marquette University Television. Jack Phillips, Amy Galashevsky, Caroline Blalik splitting defenders. Sends it over to Tessa Chad. Now here comes Sarah Blalik and the Louisville Cardinal offense. 3.5 minutes to play. They don't have too much time to read this defense. They really have to start penetrating fast if they look to tie this game back up. Running around is Blalik. Hall looking around, but now Blalik. Good defense from Marquette. Blalik fires one a little wide left, and Louisville will regain possession. McNicholas. She's done a great job trying to handle Gabriel with the draw circles. And McNicholas cannot get the offensive opportunity to fire correctly.
Jack, we're right under 3 minutes now. What does Marquette's defense have to do to keep Louisville out?
It's all about holding at this point. Marquette, if it wasn't for the shot clock, they could kind of just pass the ball around and waste the clock out. But with the shot clock now, they keep firing on the offensive end, but at the same time, focus it more on defense. They have a 2-goal lead, which is better than 1. And Marquette's going to call timeout. Now Louisville is in a bit of a hole. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But with that, we're going to send it to our sideline reporter, Megan Rock, on her thoughts of how this game is going to conclude. So, Megan.
Jack and Amy, with under 3 minutes left in this game and Marquette calling a timeout, the one key thing that they need to focus on is the cutting. As I mentioned in my last hit, Louisville keeps calling out the number 22, which indicates cutting. We see Sarah Block go in there and around the back of the cage and really cut to the right-hand side of the cage. And Jules Horning is starting to read this very well. But I believe if Marquette is ready for the cutting, they should be able to walk away with their first win of the season today at the Dome.
Megan Rock and her red iPad, bringing you some great analysis. Thank you, Megan, for that wonderful call. Regardless, it's a close game, 14-12. And Amy, I guess I'll ask you. So originally when I asked you around like the 7-8 minute mark, we said Marquette will probably get the win. Now it looks like it could go that way. However, could you see Louisville swinging this and getting a dub?
You know, you never know in collegiate lacrosse. There's lots of goals that can happen. This 2 minutes and 26 seconds left. However, I do think that Marquette's defense will crack down, especially under the leadership of Lane Dolan. I don't know if Louisville can come back, Jack. I don't know about you.
Well, let's look at some stats before we keep going with this final 2.5 minutes. So Grace Gabriel she leads the Golden Eagles with 5 goals, followed by Madison Kane with 3, and Wilcox has 2, and then a few other individual scores. Now on the other end for Louisville, it looks like Tessa Chad with 3 goals, as well as Allie Hall with another 3. Scanlon has 2, and there's some other individual goals. But if you heard me correctly, the one name again that we haven't heard on the offensive end as much for Louisville is Caroline Blalik, again the leading goal scorer of 2018 for her squad. So in these final 2.5 minutes, could we see Caroline Blalik become a little bit more in the offense, I guess, when it comes to scoring goals? Obviously, she's been doing a great job on the offensive and defensive ends, in like maybe in places where it doesn't show up on a stat sheet.
Right.
But still, it'll be interesting to see if she can get some final goals before the end of this game.
I think we can see it from her, especially if her sister's on the field with her. There's something about that sibling dynamic.
It's not only the sibling dynamic, it's also the twin. It's got the twin connection.
Yes.
Exactly. So it's all about chemistry at the end of the day with sports too. So that's why having good relationships on and off the field for your teammates can impose good winning strategies. Anyway, under 60 seconds in the shot clock. Just over 2 minutes left in the game. This one will really go down to the wire. I've never witnessed a women's lacrosse buzzer beater. Maybe today will be the day. Marquette just passing around that 12-meter fan. Being patient, not the wrong strategy if you're Marquette. As now Wilcox tries to penetrate. Sends it back out. Now on the stick of Menziber. Swings it over to Faust. Sakadato looking for McGuire in the middle, can't find her. She's got 16 seconds left on that shot clock. Shea Garcia finds a cutting Menziber. And a good defense from Lexi Ball and the Louisville Cardinals. We are down to 1:24.
Jack, this is where Louisville will have to pick it up if they want to win this game.
Exactly, and they have a great opportunity here with a fast break. Sarah Blalik dumps it down to Allie Hall, who's going to send it right back to Sarah. Over to her sister, Caroline. Being defended by Wilcox. And what a defensive stop between the pipes for Jules Horning. That was a really key defensive possession for Marquette. Madison Kane getting ready to check back in for Marquette. Anna Gallagher swings it back over to Jules Horning. Now in the stick of Jocelyn Miller. We are down to 35 seconds left, 14-12 here in the Dome at Valley Fields. Marquette has the 2-goal lead. No shot clock has been given. Louisville has to do something. No shot clock, just over 20 seconds left. Marquette looks like they're going to win their first game of the 2019 season unless Louisville pulls off a miracle. Marquette fans beginning to celebrate a little bit.
Jack, it looks like Louisville's starting to give up a little bit.
13.5 left. Some confusion on the call. Coach Scott Teeter and the referee having some words, discussing the previous call on the play. Coach Black coming in there, try and feel any confusion. Coach Teeter not happy with the call. Well, with 13.5 left, it's pretty safe to say Marquette's going to walk away with their first win of the 2019 season. From key performances with Grace Gabriel, Kate Sakadato.
Can't forget about Juliana Horning.
Of course, as well as Lindsay Wilcox. Waiting on the ref's whistle. Still Marquette possession. And the final 7 seconds begin to tick. And the icing on the cake goes to Lindsay Wilcox, who notches another goal for Marquette.
That'll be her third on the day, hat trick.
Her third goal to give a 3-goal lead. What do you think about that, huh? Well, anyway, 5.3 to go. Marquette, again, icing on the cake.
Pretty safe to say.
Pretty safe. I'd say it's 100% safe at this point. Anyway, Marquette's going to walk away with its first win of the season. Definitely a very, very impressive performance for the Golden Eagles. Can't really do much better if you're Marquette.
Right. Bringing Emily Cooper there again in the draw control circle.
Well, with this win, they'll move to 1-1 overall on the season. But they'll look forward to a February 15th matchup at 11 in the morning against Cincinnati. That'll be in Cincinnati, Ohio.
First road game, taking that trip.
Definitely first road game for Marquette. They split their home weekends games, finishing 1-1 on the weekend and 1-1 overall in the season, and that'll do it. Marquette wins its first game of the 2019 season behind great performances from players like Grace Gabriel, Lindsay Wilcox, and Jules Horning. With that, we're going to send it over to our silent reporter, Megan Rock, for her final take on the game between Marquette Women's Lacrosse and Louisville. Megan?
Jack and Amy, a big win here today at the Dome. This is the first win here for Marquette this season. Last season, they defended the Dome extremely well. Their first loss coming against Denver. later in the season. But obviously with falling to Notre Dame on Friday, the confidence, they've done a total 180 here. And we saw multiple shot opportunities and draw controls won, but the one stat that really sticks out is Grace Gabriel's almost sock trick with 5 goals on the evening. So with that, if Marquette takes this confidence and mentality into Cincinnati on Friday, their season looks to be a little bit better than we initially predicted after Friday's loss.
Well, thanks again, Megan, for your great analysis throughout the entire game. Now, Amy, before we get going, any final thoughts from this Marquette game?
Honestly, Jack, I really think it was a well-deserved win for Marquette. They used a lot of different players on offense, which they struggled against Notre Dame with. Under the leadership of Grace Gabriel, I really think that this team was the epitome of Marquette lacrosse today.
Well, couldn't have said it better myself, Amy Galashevsky. Well, on behalf of Amy Galashevsky and our silent reporter, Megan Rock, our director, Marilee Winkler, our camera operators, Alexa Gerardo, Ryan Hagan, Julio Garcia, and Maddie Adams, obviously our coordinating director, Tom Hillmeyer, our executive producer, John Steppe, as well as our graphic and replay DVR coordinator, Alex Langosh. I'm Jack Phillips, and for everyone I'm not forgetting, thank you for making this broadcast possible on MarquetteWire.org and Marquette University Television. Thank you, and have a great day. We'll see you next time.